The WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, let's do it, Jarom, Tanner, and Nolly.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast, a part of the Hockey Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings and Raycon. It is Jarom, it is Nolly, it is Tanner. What is up, guys?
Oh, hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
It's feeling kind of shitty, so let's go.
Talk about the Metro. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. We are firing all cylinders to start here. Okay, so before we get into the Metro preview, just a couple quick little house cleaning notes. For Hawks Talk, this past Friday, we had the Marian Hossa goodbye game out in Slovakia, and it looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of fog on the ice, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
hot as shit.
Yeah,
all those guys were red as could be, and were dripping sweat. And yeah, it was foggy as shit. But it's like, yeah, it's because it's getting probably way too hot in that rink, and all those people were in there, and there's actual NHL players on the ice. Like, it was crazy, but it was so much fun. Tace had a sick goal. There were so many like stars out there. Like, watching Havlat skate again, so much fun. It was
pretty cool shit. I like the Peter Bondra assist to Taves, the Zegras to Milano. It's kind of nasty. I literally turned it on, and that's exactly what happened. I was like, "Oh, yeah. That's cool."
Yeah, that was icing, or the cherry on top was Taves getting the primary assist on Hossa's technically last goal ever.
Well, and Hossa tying the game up with a half clap breakaway, below the hash marks. Like, that was just vintage Hoss.
He's pretty cool.
Oh, I miss him. I wish he could still play, but
I miss Johnson.
And Jalmerson out there. Darling. I mean, it was just a great fucking lineup. Like, I wish they would have did that out here. Like, open up the UC for him. Let's go. All right, and then NHL talk real quick. Big signing was announced today. Brandon Hagel, 8-year ticket with the Tampa Bay Lightning, which some people are saying is a terrible deal, which it shows you're uneducated.
Yeah.
It's so
you don't know puck.
Yeah.
You sent that, Tanner, and I went and looked at one of the posts, and like literally every comment was positive, like on what a great deal it was, and like,
oh really?
Everybody,
really?
Yeah, I didn't see any negative stuff on it.
I've been so many people saying like, oh, way too much term, and like overpay, and it's like, how is it way too much term? He's 20. He's gonna be 25 years old.
Dude, he's 24 and just had 30 goals and just over 60 points this season.
Yeah, exactly. And then people be like, oh, he had one good season. It's like he had 25 goals the year before, with most of them coming from the Blackhawks. Like, when he was that wasn't a good team.
Yeah, and they just got rid of Killorn. Like, he's gonna be like a big time player for them. Like,
he came in and put up some points, but that's when they still had Palat. Then Palat got moved out. He took that spot, put up 64 points, and now Killorn got moved out, and he's going to get more time, and he's going to put up more points. He's so good.
Dude,
it's gonna be one of those deals that you see in 2-3 seasons, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, how does Tampa Bay keep getting away with these awesome contracts and stuff like that?" Like, it's gonna be a great deal.
Yeah, like, just because of how cheap it is for him. Like, it's a perfect deal for him where he's at right now. He's gonna have like a bigger role, like we just said. Plus, the cap's gonna go up, so like it's the perfect storm for them.
Yeah, 100%. Still miss him. Wish he was here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
he's so good.
He's so fucking good.
It's gonna look like such a good deal. Especially, I mean, I think it's a good deal already, but like in 2-3 years when the cap does go up, and like that's the funny thing that we say all the time. Like, these deals are going to look so good in 2-3 years, and he's just the type of player that's always noticeable on the ice. He's a part of every play, offensively or defensively. He's just so fucking good, and I think a lot of the people that I was seeing comments from, like, they just have no idea like what they're talking about. It's insane.
There was a lot of comments too that I saw, at least, that were like, can I get like a reading from Blackhawks fans or Lightning fans? Is this like a good deal? And I'm like, these are the kind of people that like should be asking that question because obviously like you shouldn't just come out and say this is a shit deal because you don't know. So I appreciate you actually asking. And like,
Yeah, right.
a Hawks fan, I wish they had him at 8 years at 6.5. Like that'd be fucking unreal.
But we were talking about this before you hopped on, though. It's like as much as I miss Hagel and I wish we had him at this deal, the fact that we turned him into Taylor Radish, Oliver Moore, and another pick next year,
Boris Kachuk,
makes it a little less painful.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like it's not like we traded, I don't know, first rounder and a top defensive prospect and gave a defenseman way too much money. Like when I heard that Hagel was gone, I was so upset. But then when I saw what we got, I was like, "Fuck, dude, get him out!" I guess because
Let's go.
Ever get anything better than that right there for him?
Yeah. So
Their good second line right now is Hagel, Sorelli, and Gino. Like,
yeah, I know.
That's solid.
That's what Cap Friendly's got it at. But I'm sure Gino's not going to be second line right wing.
No, Andy's hurt right now, so I don't know. I mean, they always bring great.
But you know that they're just going to have some young kid step up and just fucking tear it up, just out of nowhere.
They always got somebody, or they'll bring somebody in.
Yeah, or they're going to trade the rest of their picks that they have for somebody that's on a really good deal. That's cheap.
Patrick Kane, league minimum.
You never know.
Hey, if you want to win another cup, that's a really good shot.
Him and Hagel back. Why not?
Yeah, right.
That'd be fun. All right, let's move on to the Metro Division preview. Wrapping up the Eastern Conference, I think we could all agree the Eastern Conference is probably the hardest division or conference to pick. Atlantic was really tough. We were talking about how every team could have a potential of making the playoffs, making a case for them. It's the same thing with the Metro minus maybe 2 or 3 teams. I think. I guess we'll start same way we did last week. We'll start at the bottom, work our way up. Columbus Blue Jackets finished last in the division, 25, 48, and 9 for 59 points. With the additions they made this year, including adding, Proloff, Fantilli. What is it?
Provorov. Yes.
Fantilli, and all that, and they could stay healthy. Could they potentially be the most literally the most improved team in that division and potentially even the league? I mean, point wise.
Yeah. It absolutely can.
But they also cannot.
So is this true? They haven't signed any free agents.
I don't think they had money to.
They have plenty of money.
Oh yeah.
They just haven't signed a single free agent.
I mean, they just been
they made trades and then they signed deals, but they haven't actually signed any free agents, that's kind of funny. They didn't lose anybody too big. They brought in more defensive help with Severson and Ivan Provorov, and Provorov's going to be at a really good deal because he's got salary retained. What did they get rid of? They got rid of nothing. Oh, LA's first round pick. That's what they got rid of for Provorov, and then a third rounder for David Severson.
Yeah, they have $7 million right now.
Their biggest addition is the fact that they're going to have a healthy team going into the fucking season this year.
Yeah, absolutely. They missed Werenski so much last year. I mean, injured, but that's huge on their back end. I mean, especially looking at their defense from last year, it is a game changer actually having him back there but now you have, like you said, Provorov and Severson. So those 3 up top that's huge for them.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they had a rotating line of injuries on their top end. Line A couldn't stay healthy. So I'm excited to see Gaudreau, his second season in Columbus,
Yep.
Guys, it's hard for guys that have been on the same team for a really long time when they move to a new city to have a really good first year. Matthew Tkachuk is obviously just a freak of nature. And but for most guys, it's really hard. So it's going to be interesting to see Gaudreau this year, especially when you he has a full like a healthy Patrick Line in next to him. You add in um I can't even think of his name. Who they just drafted?
Fantilli.
I could not think of his name. I'm looking right at it too. Throwing Fantilli in there, like he's gonna give him a bolt of energy, and I get like Alex Tuck going to Buffalo vibes, where it's like they finally have somebody that wants to go there, and it's like Goudreau wanted to go there, and Fantilli said before the draft he hopes he gets drafted there. It's like I don't know. I feel like they're getting like the juices flowing finally of like a mixture of superstars and guys that want to be there, and then like Liam Foodie, that kid was having a good year last year. Like Kent Johnston, like
Ken Johnson. Is it Johnston or Johnson?
Johnson, yeah.
Like, he had one of the like biggest highlight reel goals of the year.
Nasty.
Oh yeah, fucking between the legs around the back of the net, and then just fucking Michigan's it.
It was sick. So like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and they have Elvis signed for a 4 more years at 5.4, which isn't bad. They go after like, just a veteran goalie.
I mean, I think the help that they got is like Provorov and Severson, like, and having Werenski back, like that defense, that's half the defense is going to be completely different from last year, and they're all like more seasoned veteran type guys that can play pretty well.
Yep.
And then Boqvist is also going to probably take another step up. He was injured for a good portion of last year too. He only played 46 games. Yeah, man, like this team can definitely improve if they can just do that thing where they stay healthy.
Yeah.
Wasn't Tashir? He was in like the employee or not employee in the players assistance program or something last year.
I don't remember.
Or didn't he like have to go back home or something?
There was somebody, yeah. Who was that?
But they have like such good young talent with like Kent Johnson and Adam Fantilli, which is just funny because they're both from like University of Michigan. And then now that you have have you seen this too? This Kirill Marchenko kid that they brought up last year? You see his stats? He's got 25 points, 21 goals.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Came out and just went on a run.
Just was just ripping like crazy.
Dude, they'd be a fun team.
Yeah, exactly. And and they got Cole Sillinger.
Yes, Cole Sillinger. I forgot about him too. He's not even listed in their lineup right now.
He'll definitely time up.
Liam Foudy had played a bunch last year too, but I think he was one of those. He was a big reason. Like he was a guy that was brought up because they had so many injuries.
It can't really get any worse for them. Like it's 116 overall, like for their team, and only 59 points on the season. Like it's got to be better than that.
With the talent they have, there's zero reason for that to be ever happen again.
That power play is going to be fun to watch this year. I don't know who's going to be on it, but that power play is going to be fun.
I'm curious where they're going to put Fantilli because Cap Friendly has him at third line, but like I doubt he plays third line, right?
I bet you he's second. Starts second line, then maybe works his way to the first line as like
I can see him just being straight up first line. Like why not? Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Show off the new shiny toy like right away.
Boone Jenner, Patrick Laine, Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
Well, then there's even talks about Laine saying that he's been working at face-offs and stuff this off season too. So he could even potentially be an option in the middle, which I don't know why, because I feel they're very center heavy right now. But also, again, when nothing worked last year, you got to try whatever to get things back on track.
Pretty much.
How old is Boone Jenner?
It's 30.
He's 30. I feel like he's been in the league for so long.
Ever.
Yeah, I don't know. If you go to Daily Faceoff, they have Fantilli second line center with Johnson and Marchenko.
That's not bad.
Johnson would be Johnson, Fantilli, 2 Michigan guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm sure will happen at some point.
Oh,
that's 100%. A super young line too. Marchenko is the oldest at 23, and then 20 and 18. Like that's crazy. That's the future of your team right there.
I just we've talked about this before. It's like I love that more teams are getting like good players, and it's like it's starting to spread out finally. It's starting the parity across the league is starting to get better, and you're
Yeah.
not going to start seeing the same six teams getting all the
Well,
top
it's
guys and winning all that.
fucking Columbus was having those high draft picks through the early 2000s as well. It's just they drafted like shit.
Don't draft well. They're terrible at drafting.
Fucking Nikita Filatov was their big fucking draft pick, like in the middle of the 2000s. He played like 17 games.
I'll never that guy's name. I don't know why, but that was like the one year I'm like, I'm gonna watch this kid, and he
Yeah.
barely cracked the NHL lineup, and he never came back. Yeah, we can all just thank Gary Bettman and the hard cap that we have right now for this reason that this is working out well for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. The Philadelphia Flyers finished 7th in the league or in the division, 31, 38, and 13 for 75 points. They're in the full rebuild right now, full effect. But do you think with the moves that Briere has done so far that they are in a better position than people are giving them credit for?
Position to lose?
Well, no, position for like in the process of
the rebuild.
Like the rebuild.
Oh
yeah.
They're definitely going to be worse than last year, I think. But I mean, it's intended.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Davidson did this previous offseason. Like, but yeah, this team doesn't have anything scary. Their biggest guys are usually hurt, which kind of sucks because Sean Couturier is just so good.
It's really sad that he's just been so hurt for a while. Like he's such a two-way player. Like he's a great centerman. Like he should be their number 1C right now. But I mean, I know this wasn't Briere, but like they just made so many stupid moves. Like they make sense. Like why did you go out and trade get Ryan Ellis? Like you knew,
and he's like dead.
Yeah, you have him for 4 more years.
He's gonna be LTIR for like forever. He's done, right?
He's done.
Yeah.
And then you got Cam Atkinson, same thing, man. Like I hope he can get healthy. But then you go out and get Cal Peterson. Like why?
Well, I'm sure they probably got Cal Peterson because they got the first round pick with him, but also like Carter Hart. What's going on there? Like, is he a part of the 2018 like World Juniors stuff? Like,
and if he can play, are they even going to hold on to him? Are they going to try to move him once he's cleared on that? Because I mean, they were talking about like he was a trade option for the longest time.
Yeah, well, it's because they brought him in to play like so young, and he played great, and then the team just kind of fell apart too. But like, he wasn't able to repeat that kind of like great performance, and it's just been like, I don't know. It's actually really weird because he would like, I don't know about last year because I wasn't really paying attention, but the previous years he would play insanely well in Philadelphia and then just shit the bed on the road. And it was just so weird.
Yeah. But like, then you signed Rasmus Ristolainen into like that contract that they did. Was it last year? That's a brutal contract, man. Like he's not that good defensively. He's like, it's just.
I'm surprised that he's still like in the league because he's just consistently been like one of the worst defensemen.
Always, and he doesn't put up points.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it. Like there's honestly like besides Travis Konechny, like I don't like anything on this team.
No.
They went out and signed Mark Stahl. Who else did they didn't Garnet Hathaway. I don't know like the deal what that is.
Stahl.
They traded away. Oh yeah, they lost JVR, but like whatever. They lost Brendan Lemieux, whatever. They traded away Kevin Hughes, or not Kevin Hughes. Sorry, Kevin Hayes. And they retained on Kevin Hayes. They bought out Tony DeAngelo. Like Jesus Christ!
After basically having a trade set up.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I think Briere is he's just in teardown, man. He's doing getting rid of like anything and everything, but he's not getting value back. Except for the Provorov trade.
Kyle Davison fucked it for everybody else because he was able to get so much for what he was doing. Now teams, it's the same thing with the Vegas expansion draft. Seattle got kind of screwed because all the teams were like, "Oh nope, we're not doing that this time." They're like, "Oh, Kyle Davison did this. Nope, no one else is getting that help."
I wonder if like they'll end up trading Travis Konechny. Like he's so fucking good too.
Sure, they will.
Yeah.
2 years, 5.5, dude. That's a steal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy that goes to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's going to be their right winger on the second line with Hagel. They're going to somehow make that work out.
Pirelli,
God.
Ian Hagel. Oh, dude, that's gross.
Just clip this part for when it happens during the season.
That-
Just say we called it.
Just last thing on Philly. They got 4 more years of paying Ilya Bryzgalov. It doesn't count against the cap, but they got 4 more years of paying.
Yeah,
I love
I
it.
saw that too. That's hilarious.
The old guys that are still getting paid by a buyout. I just love it.
Absolutely
Philly's got, what is happening here? Oh, they get a compensatory pick because they didn't sign their first rounder from 2018. I was just looking at their upcoming draft. They have 2 in the first, 2 in the second. That's really it. And it's the Florida pick from, I believe, the Giroux trade. Yeah. Owen Tippett. Yeah, man. Philly is just going to be in for a rough year.
And then, I mean, they kind of, I don't know, like, it wasn't on them, but like everything that happened with Nolan Patrick, like that sucks too.
Yeah.
You know, they've had bad luck with guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also Hextall's fault for not listening to his like whole scouting team that they wanted to take Cale Makar second. And he's like, nah, I'm going to take this really injury prone kid, Nolan Patrick.
It works out every time when people do that, just like Nelly.
Oh, yeah.
It worked out great.
Yeah. Just don't listen to your scouts.
All right, moving on. We got the Washington Capitals who finished 35, 37, and 10 for 80 points. I think the main storyline for this season for them is how many goals does Ovechkin chip off of the race to Gretzky? He needs 72 to tie, 73 to break it.
Dude, it hit
him.
He was only like just over 70 away, and I was like I knew he was getting close, but I'm like, fuck, dude, like the way he's been playing, that's 2 seasons easy.
Yeah,
100%. I had to look again. Like when I was looking at that, I was convinced it was like 80 or 90 at least. And then I was like, wait a second, did I do this wrong? Like math?
I know. Same thing. I was still thinking like, well, he still needs like 3 or 4 more years at like 25, 30 goals to break it. And it's like, no, dude, if he gets 2 years of 40, which he just put up, how many did he put up last year? I'm trying to find them on cap. It's the one time I look for a team I can never find.
Oh geez, got a lot of stats. 42.
Yeah. See, like, so I mean, if he puts up another 40, which they're setting up a team specifically just so he could break this record because they should be in built like breakdown mode, but you're not going to do it right now when he's going for the all-time record. Like,
yeah,
brought in like Max Pacioretty and like they have Dylan Strome, like Sonny Milano. They still have Backstrom signed, Oshie, Kuznetsov.
They just signed Tom Wilson to an extension too.
True. It's just like filled with guys that are going to feed the puck to Ovi. Like that's what their team is. So, yeah.
What else? Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna be any better this year. I don't think they're gonna be any worse. I think they're just gonna kind of sit there and just float at like 500 hockey. I think for the next little bit.
Yeah, I don't see them making the playoffs. I mean, but I don't see them like not at least like I don't know. I mean, they were 13 points back last year. Yeah, they're around there again, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same team returning from last season, just minus Dmitry Orlov.
And they added Max Pacioretty if he could stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that's
the fuck. Did they traded for Joel Edmondson? What? Okay. Yeah, I guess that happened on the first day of free agency. That's really weird.
What did you say?
They traded for Joel Edmondson on the first day of free agency.
He's wearing an A too.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's weird.
I mean, Rasmus Sandin, maybe he'll get more time here than he did in Toronto. Maybe he'll show something.
Especially when Carlson went down last year, which that was a huge problem too. Carlson got hit with that puck in the face. It sucked for my fantasy team. I'm sure it sucked even more for him. But he missed a lot of time last year.
Yeah, he missed more than half the games.
back on that fucking power play. So like that didn't help them at all. But Sandine came in, he played decent for them, filling in the hole for John Carlson, that's big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And they went out and got Kemper. Dude, they had Vanacek and Samsonov. I like both of them better than Kemper. I know Kemper won a Colorado, but that Colorado team is fucking stacked.
Kemper has always been a player that I think he benefits from who's around him, and Washington was not on the level of Colorado at all.
No, Kemper was good in Arizona though.
Yeah, but like somebody had to.
Yeah, exactly. But I
he
think
knew he had to be good to get the fuck out of Arizona.
I think it's difficult to go from playing like you're in Arizona, you're obviously like, okay, like I'm gonna have to do everything, to going to Colorado being like, oh shit, we have a fucking squad. And then going to Washington be like, what do we have here? Like we got Ovi, and then like you said, John Carlson got hurt. So like who the fuck was their defense anyway? They traded away Dmitry Orlov, and I don't know. He had a mixture of like top end offense with no defense.
And then top end offense that was hurt majority of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think this team's
it's the Ovechkin show for the next 2 years at least.
Yeah.
Until he breaks that record, then yeah, it's just how many can Ovi score, and that's all we're watching on this team.
I wonder if Pacioretty will be able to be healthy for a good portion of the season or not, because then that kind of that really just adds. Because who do you? I guess you'd bump down like Mantha, maybe you get Oshie with fucking Pacioretty, and like what a fucking pesky ass line that would be.
Yeah, yeah. Oshie and Pacioretty together I love that. I love those two together.
Two questions I have too is Kuznetsov going to actually be on this team, because there's still that whole trade request out there. And two is Backstrom. How is he holding up towards the end of the season when he came back? Is he going to be able to keep playing, or like what's the issue there?
Well, when their whole plan is just get power plays and Backstrom can stand in the corner and just dish it cross the crease to Ovi for a backdoor tap in, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I love Backstrom. I wasn't sure if I should wear my Devils jersey or if I should wear my Backstrom jersey for today. But yeah, I hope he stays healthy. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's like it's just so weird. It'd be such a different story if Ovi wasn't doing what he's doing. But yeah. I don't know he's going to be there, because there's trade rumors during the season, and then like just another month ago, he's like, no, yeah, I still want out. Like,
yeah.
So, which is also weird, because I feel like why would he want to leave? I mean, maybe he wants to chase a cup and he knows that they don't have a chance.
Yeah, they don't have a chance.
But like him and Ovi together, like it works, you know? But I don't know. Maybe
what's going on in Washington too, because Mitchkoff came out and said like everybody's like, oh, he would be the perfect player to fall to Washington, and he came out and he's like, no, he specifically said, I don't want to go to Washington.
I bet. Well, I don't know, but like to me, it's probably like he's Russian. Like Ovi's like arguably the greatest Russian. You could argue that. Like he has a complete legacy in Washington. Like he's just going to get compared to Ovi that his entire career.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of how I fit, like kind of what I thought when he was like absolutely not to Washington. I was like, it would be really cool, because it would be cool just to transition into your like next generation talent as Ovi's crossing the great one. But I mean, it makes sense for the kid. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Any guesses on what Kuznetsov goes?
Seattle.
I was gonna say Seattle.
All
right. That wouldn't be bad.
That would be good. I feel like they still need that one more player that, like, I don't know, but we'll
a little higher end
next week. Yeah. All right, moving on to possibly the most interesting team this offseason. The Pittsburgh Penguins finished last year 40-31-11 from 91 points. Part of the infamous missing the playoffs by 1 point because they lost to the Blackhawks, which then gave the odds to get Bedard and change hockey history forever.
Put Florida into the playoffs and
Put
make it to
Florida
the
in the
final.
playoffs. Yeah. Kyle Dubas era is starting. He's going big. I mean, is the Hail Mary gonna pay off? Is it gonna explode in his face? I mean, I don't know.
Got his core four to a new core four. Yeah, I feel like we talked about them a lot when the trade happened, and it's just like I don't know. I don't know how to get a read. I can't get a read on this team until I see them start playing. Like
Mm-hmm.
is it gonna go where Letang and Carlson like are a huge 1-2 punch on the back end, like offensively and defensively, or is it gonna go the Brent Burns, Eric Carlson era in San Jose where it was just too much all at once and it just didn't work out. The power play went down and like it just wasn't it. But then San Jose did not have the Sidney Crosby factor, which
Right.
Crosby can do whatever the fuck he wants because he's Sidney Crosby. And like talking about sneaky seasons, how many points did he have last year?
93.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about how he had fucking over 90 points again last year. Like
30 plus goals, 60 assists.
played all 82 games too.
Yep.
So like it's just man.
You know what's like
He had 100
something
9 games back in 18-19.
it's like something sneaky that they added that nobody really is talking about is they brought in Riley Smith, and he's going to be. I mean, right now they have him listed at left wing on Crosby's line, and Riley Smith is like the prototypical like guy that's going to benefit the most from playing with Sidney Crosby.
Pascal Dupuis, Chris Kunitz, like those kind of guys.
Yep, it's just going to stand next to the net and fucking bury it, and that's all you got to do.
And they got Nola Chari as well from Toronto. Like he was a free agent in Toronto. Like he was really good when he went to Toronto last year. I mean, he was really good with the Blues too before that. But like, that's a solid player. Like,
yeah, they brought in Vinny Hinostroza too, and like we've seen him play before. He doesn't put up a lot of points, but the kid fucking goes hard.
he's a body.
Yeah,
You just need bodies. He's a body.
Spark
like this team isn't like bad. It's definitely like Dubas is buying into the whole like we're gonna keep going at it as 100% until Crosby's gone. Like you always have a chance when Crosby's on the team.
Yep.
And fuck man, like bringing in Ryan Graves, I think is gonna be a sneaky great addition on the back end too. Kid's fucking huge, 6'5". He's gonna play alongside Eric Carlson. At least that's what they have it listed right now. Like you're just gonna give Carlson the freedom to fucking skate around with the puck with his big fucking behemoth playing like just next to him. Like that's amazing.
Yeah, and then
flex stick.
that's what you need. Like with a guy like Carlson, you need that like stay at home guy to help him out. So I mean, yeah, that's really good. But also, it's like, how is Jari going to do this year? He's going to have a bounce back year. Like, is he going to be playing like he did last?
Oh,
That comes like
goaltending is not like no. I don't have any confidence in that back end at all for them.
Definitely.
Jari's good when he's like healthy. He's really good. Fucking the other thing too is like Jake Gensel is going to be out for the beginning part of the season, but once he comes back, like he's going to bolster that top six like even more.
Yeah,
he put up fucking 36 goals last year. 36 goals, 37 assists, 73 points, 78 games.
What's up, guys? As you know, the show is brought to you by DraftKings, and new customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. Bet just $5 to score $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's code THPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelpline.org. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369. In Kansas, call 1-800-247-00. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort on West Virginia, gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. All games regulated by West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly in partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown's Race in Connecticut. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after insurance. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in require max bet $50. 10 plus leg required for 100% boost. Eligibility, wagering deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Even if you're not going on vacation, summer is all about a vacation state of mind. Whether I want to listen to Luke Combs on repeat or just need to retreat inside my own head for a bit, I love creating my own summer soundtrack by popping in my Raycon wireless earbuds. There's so much going on all summer. Sometimes you need some upbeat music to pump you up before you see people or to stay calm with some guided meditation. I love my Raycon headphones for, listening to my country playlist up on the lake or, any of the great podcasts from the Hockey Podcast Network. Just get to hear all my hockey news. Let me tell you right now, Raycons are the best way to listen. Use earbud tap functions to toggle between 3 customizable sound profiles, noise isolation, and awareness mode. Raycons have a 32-hour battery life, including 8 hours of playtime, so you can listen to what you want when you want for a really long time. They come with custom gel tips for the most comfortable in-ear fit. They start at half the price of other premium audio brands, but they sound just as good. And Raycon comes with a 30-day happiness guarantee, so you really can't lose. Create your own soundtrack with Raycon. Right now, WCB podcast listeners can get 15% off Raycon. Order at buyraycon.com/THPN. That's buyraycon.com/THPN to save 15% off on Raycons. Buyraycons.com/THPN.
It's just a goal scorer.
Yeah. They picked up Lars Eller too.
It's like
It's just
on paper, this team
solid
looks
center
so good on paper. I just don't know, like you were saying, Nolly, is it going to translate right? Like, is it going to be the too many cooks in the kitchen type of situation? Like,
They currently have 4 guys on their offense under the age of 30, and that's including Gensel on IR.
Yeah.
Like that's the part. Like when you look at the roster, it's like, man, this is an old team.
Yeah.
And like Jeff Carter he's 38, man. Like he's really slowing down, dude.
Yeah, only 29 points last year with only 13 goals. Like a real big drop off there.
As your third line center, I guess that's not terrible, but like
he had 45 points the season prior. I guess he hasn't really been putting up like a ton of points, but
and then you look at their D. Carlson's 33, Graves is 28, Letang's 36, Pettersson's 27. Ruendel is 33 and Joseph is 24. So it's just a bunch of 30-year-olds tied up to a bunch of 20-year-olds. Like it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
They're the oldest team in the league, right?
I think so.
Got older adding Carlson. It's
I don't know.
It's just weird. Like I said, I gotta wait to see how they, and not even like the first month. Like I need like a good chunk of the season to like watch
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Well, I mean, January is usually when Crosby's like, we gotta fucking turn it on, and then just start winning the games like crazy.
You can never count on Crosby.
No.
Like McDavid, like you just can't bet against him. I mean, you can't McDavid because he doesn't win cups, but
can't win beer league titles either. So, all right. Moving on now, entering the playoff teams from this division last year. The New York Islanders finished 42, 31, and 9 for 93 points. They were eliminated in the first round by the Carolina Hurricanes. Key pieces locked in long term for them. Lou hasn't been told the offseason has started again. It's August, and I don't think they made any moves.
Yeah, they did.
And
they traded away Josh Bailey.
Do they have what it takes to get back to their back-to-back conference final glory? If you want to call it glory, because they didn't win, but still, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
The competitiveness that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they do, just because like Barzell got hurt at the worst time in the season. And they still made the playoffs. Didn't they? Why do I feel like they didn't make the playoffs?
They made the playoffs.
They did.
Yeah, they got knocked out by Carolina.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, this team is still just like one of the most boring teams to watch, right? Like they're so good defensively. Ilya Sorokin is hands down, I think, the best goalie in the fucking league.
Crazy.
He's gonna win the Vezina at least once over the next like 3 seasons or something.
I thought it like I know Allmark and Swayman did what they did for Boston this year, but Boston was so fucking good. Like Sorokin was the reason the Islanders made the playoffs this year. I thought it should have been either Sorokin or Saros in Nashville, just because of how they were the MVPs of their teams. Like they both of them. Like Sorokin's just unbelievable.
Just fucking, I just want to point this out. So Sorokin over the last 2 seasons, he had 62 games played this season, which is pretty fucking high, right? Like a lot of goalies don't play 62. He had 52 last year, 9.25 save percentage last year, 9.24 save percentage this year, like 9.29 save percentage in the playoffs this year. Like the guy fucking is so good, so good. And he's how old is he? He's not that old, 28. So it's not bad. But
yeah,
goddamn,
he's in his prime right now.
Remember that rumor when the Hawks traded for him?
Just about to bring that up.
I wish.
God.
I fucking wish.
So him and Varlamov are both 6'2". Varlamov's 205 and Sorokin's 172. That's fucking crazy, dude. He's thin.
Yeah, he's a thin boy.
It's just I mean, you know what you're getting with this team? They don't outscore guys. They don't let up a lot of goals. It's just can they score at all? Like I feel like that's their problem is they just don't score. And like you said, out for a while. But it's just like Lou just he loves running it back. Like just run it back. Like
he doesn't make major changes at all.
No, and like they still haven't even re-signed Parise, which we all know is going to happen. But
do you think that's going to happen?
I don't know. And like I feel like they're also the only team with like a genuine fourth line with Matt Martin, Casey Cizikas, and Cal Clutterbuck. Like that's a fucking gritty fourth line. Like that's a 2000s fucking fourth line right there.
That's I mean, this team like having a full season with Bo Horvat between Barzal and Andrews Lee. We'll see how that works out because like Bo Horvat almost put up 40 goals last year, and he was playing in Vancouver, and they were trash. And then he came over to the Islanders, and I think Barzal like immediately got hurt, and so like I don't think they really ever played together.
I was looking this stat up when you brought it up. Are you talking about like can they score? They're not going to score a lot and all that kind of stuff. Their shutdown to style is huge because when they're scoring first, they were 27, 11, and 5 last year.
Yeah, dude.
When the opponents scored first, they were 15, 20, and 4.
Yeah, dude. Like it's just can they score? And if they
gotta get that goal and just
go shutdown mode, and it's like, if we score one, we're not gonna let any in. But like as soon as they go down, it's like, fuck, dude, can we get one? Like it's the same style of play that they have every single year. And I feel like it's gotten, I mean, it was just one season, but I feel like it's last year wasn't as good without Trotz behind the bench.
Yeah.
Trotz's systems are they work, obviously. Like you got him to the conference finals, you got the Capitals to the Stanley Cup. Like that team bought into Trotz, and I still can't believe that he's not their coach. Like it just blows my mind that they like he literally got you to 2 conference finals. All these guys bought into your system. Like, why are you letting him go? Like, it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because wasn't the year that he got fired too? Wasn't that the one where the COVID where they started this like crazy long on this road, and then like half their team had COVID for most of the season?
And they had to play through it, and then 3 other teams did it, and they started like stopping the schedules, but like the Islanders had to play through it, and he called out the NHL like, "What the fuck? Like, why did we have to play through all this? But these guys are all getting breaks." Like, they got screwed that year. Yeah,
and then he gets fired because they don't make the playoffs because of dealing with all that shit. That's fucking ridiculous.
It's crazy, but I don't know. They're this. You know exactly what you're getting from the Islanders every game.
Tell you, not sure what you're getting from is the New York Rangers. They finished 47-22-13 for 107, eliminated in the first round by the New Jersey Devils. Did they do enough to stay a threat in this division? I mean, they lost. They went all in last season, bringing in Kane, Tarasenko. Didn't work out for them. They didn't bring back either of those guys. Yet, at least with Kaner. But I mean, did they do enough where they can still be a top team in this division?
I still like this team, honestly. Like I really, I mean, you add Blake Wheeler at $800,000, like he's gonna be in your top six. Like that's
He can
like he
still
didn't
get
have
assists,
a
like for sure.
55 points, 16 goals, but like he's gonna be playing with like right now they haven't projected with Trocheck and Panarin. Like he's gonna put up more than that on that line. I feel like it's just more so how is that kids line not they're not really on a line anymore, but like how is that kids line gonna do? Like Kako, and Hegel. I think Hegel's gonna be fine. Like I feel like he's made strides every year. Kako is back and forth, and Lafreniere. I mean, I don't think he's gonna live up to being in first overall, but I think he's still gonna be a good player. But it's just how far can those guys help take them? Because you know what you're getting from Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin. Like it's you. Those guys show up every year. Like those are your stars. That's what they get paid for. Like then their back end's sick. Like they extended Keandre Miller. They have
Yeah.
True Lindgren. Like and then they got Shesterkin in that. They got Quick behind him. Like
They brought in Eric Gustafson too, which is kind of funny.
always good.
Just adding more like offensive depth to the defensive, like like the back end. When you, it's just showing like they just believe that Shesterkin's going to be able to just stop everything. It doesn't matter if the defense actually can't play defense.
They got
And
Quick backing him up.
if
Yeah.
if your power play goes down, at least you got Gustafson to rely on because he can just jump into any power play and boost them up just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
They haven't even signed Lafreniere yet.
Yeah, he still needs a deal. It's the thing with them. It's like I wonder how much they've just like ruined like Kako and Lafreniere by constantly like trying to bring other wingers in to play the top lines versus like the two kids that are like a first and the second overall, like giving them any kind of shot.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, especially with COVID, like we've talked about it, where like players in that age group, their development's thrown off a little bit. Like I feel like Lafreniere was not ready for the NHL, but he just got thrown in, and like it's I don't know, like it's gonna be interesting.
Not to make it about the Hawks, but like his situation is kind of what's me nervous about Korchinski and rushing him because it's like I think when Lafreniere came in, it was like because he was. Do you put him back in juniors where he's just dominating, or do you let him sink or swim in the NHL? And I'm like, that's where I'm just like, with Korchinski, I'm just a little nervous about that whole situation too.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the like Kirby Doc situation
Yeah.
almost. Like as soon as he moved on, like from the the Hawks, like he had a really good year last year with Montreal, and it seemed like he finally took a step where with the Hawks he was kind of at a stalemate. But the only good thing is about Lafreniere is like the Rangers are good, the Hawks were not, you know.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, the Hawks or the Rangers are good, so he's gonna be third line. Like he only gets like 15 minutes a game. Like
Yeah.
before that, he was only getting like 12 minutes the year before or something like that. Like it, I don't know. I don't know.
Like you're not on the like, the first line power play. You're playing third line. Like you're not gonna get like huge numbers out of this kid. I mean, honestly, him putting up 40 points is pretty fucking good for like playing third line, really. Like it
He
sucks. He's behind
averaged
Chris Kreider and Artemi Panarin. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
he averaged 15 minutes and 13 seconds of ice time last
Yeah.
season.
yeah.
So I mean,
So
it's not bad. I think that the thing against him is that he's a first overall pick, and that's
That's not his fault, right?
yeah,
Like
right. That's the but like that's the
like
expectation.
I wonder how his development would have gone had the Rangers not won that odd lottery where they get to play in the playoffs and then fucking get first overall.
yeah,
Right? Like if he goes to a team that actually was towards the bottom of the league and like gets that second or first line like minutes in like his first couple seasons, like I wonder how he turns out.
or he gets thrown back into juniors, rips it up for a year, and then comes in the next year and he's first line. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Plus, like,
Yeah,
I
but
mean, you're playing in New York too, like on an original six team. Like, there was a huge fucking like his face was on the side of the fucking Madison Square Garden, like during the draft, man. Like they're like, "Welcome to New York," like all this shit. And like, if you're any kind of like New York fan, and you're like, "Well, this kid's not fucking doing it. This kid's not Matthews. This kid's not even close to like Nico Hishe." Like,
they
okay,
want him out. Like it's just like, dude, he's 21 years old.
yeah.
Like you have to give him a chance, dude. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey, come honestly, like have him come to Chicago. I would fucking take him. Give him a shot.
Now's the time to do it.
Yeah, right.
Chemistry with Bedard.
You fucking at the trade deadline, just Taylor Hall for Lafreniere straight up.
I want Taylor Hall though.
I do too, but like for the future.
No, I don't know. Like I like the moves that they've made. Like I know they lost Kane and Tarasenko, but obviously like those big moves that they made, it just threw off the chemistry and like it didn't pan out. Like it didn't work. So like bringing in and like I said, like the guys that they brought in, like I still like this team. I still think they're going to be competitive in this division.
Yeah. I honestly like the addition of Jonathan Quick as the backup to Shesterkin too. Like he's clearly not gonna have to come in. Like, you know how when they signed Cal Peterson in LA to like that extension, they're like, okay, like they're gonna start taking more and more of this responsibility. And like it never fucking happened. And like Quick's just like, yo, I'm fucking dying out here, man. Like I've been doing this for like 12 years in LA. Like, please. Like, so this year he'll get more of that backup role, probably like 25-ish, maybe 30 games or so instead, and he might just fucking shine a little bit better than what he was doing in LA.
They had Halak the past 2 seasons, I think, and
he played like shit last year.
Garbage. Like even when he Rangers, like they're just bad. I bet anytime I saw Halak was playing at home, I bet against the Rangers, and I won a lot just because like his numbers at MSG are terrible. Like no matter what team he's on, like that's so. Funny. I wonder how Quick will do it in that situation, but yeah, yeah, and you know, Quick's coming in, you know, just like I just want a Stanley Cup doing this. I could do this all day, you know,
yeah,
like
right.
Game last year for the Golden Knights, like I could do that.
Oh man. All right. Moving on to probably the biggest surprise of the last season. The New Jersey Devils. They finished 52-22-8 with 112 points, and they were knocked out in the second round by the Carolina Hurricanes. Can they build off their breakout season and be a true cup contender, or are we going to see another case of the Nashville Predators?
Well, the thing that's different between them and Nashville is Nashville, the guys that had the career years were like pushing 30 or over 30. Like the guys that had career years in New Jersey are like 20. They're like 20, 21 years old. Like Jack Hughes is going to break 100 points for sure this year as long as he stays healthy. Like, yeah, this team's going to be really fun to watch, I mean, offensively, like absolutely. Defensively, they lost like Damon Severson, but I mean, it's not going to hurt as bad when Luke Hughes is going to be having a full season.
Yeah, the Hughes brothers is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, dude. Jack Hughes is just fucking so much fun to watch. Like he's just I feel like we keep talking about it anytime he comes up, it's like he's finally living up to like being that first overall. And it's I mean, like
yeah, speaking of Lafreniere and then Jack Hughes, you know, like this is what happens when you actually go to a team that really needs that first overall pick to like develop and play like top line minutes. Like New York just didn't do that for Lafreniere, and they're still not doing that. He's like still listed as a third line fucking winger. Like it's so brutal.
And also like you gave the kid time to develop to where it's like we have faith in this kid where in Lafreniere, all the Rangers fans are like, fuck, like, no, like, this is terrible. I mean, people were upset with Jack Hughes' contract, but obviously it's a fucking steal now. He's making $8 million. Yeah. And only any guy that comes in, it's like, how do you make more than Jack Hughes? You're not better than him. But then you got Timo Meier that came in and did make more than him, but whatever.
He's a little older though, you know, like that's his second contract. Like Jack Hughes is on his first, and like his next one's going to be like 10 plus.
And it's only 800,000 more. It's not like it's a ridiculous amount.
I think Hughes being at that number like definitely helped them talk Meier down a bit. But
yeah,
like the Boston effect. They showed what we got going on here, and players bought into it, and they took less money to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, having a full year of Meier on that team is going to be huge.
Yeah, Tyler Toffoli playing on that team too.
God, that's a big get.
Yeah. That guy's a fucking goal scorer too. Like it's just
he was the only one doing anything in Calgary last year.
Yeah. I mean, the past like 3 teams he's been on, I feel like he's like the only one guy that produces, and it's all
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah. He's finally out of Canada.
Yeah, Luke, like you said, Luke Hughes coming in, that he should be a stud for them. It's just, can Vanacek's, like the beginning of the last year, Vanacek was unreal. Like he was so good, and then it just fell off. And then Schmid came in the playoffs, obviously, and like did what he did. But like it kind of comes down to goaltending for this team too. I feel like,
Yeah. I mean, they added firepower though. And
Yeah.
like you said, like having Meyer for the whole season now too. Him and Heat being on the same line and being like some of the only Swiss players is kind of like gonna have, you just feel like there's gonna be disgusting chemistry.
Actually,
If they play on the what?
So yeah, it's definitely like going to be a huge connection for them.
Man, oh man. Yeah, this team will be fun to watch though.
I like this team a lot. I really like this team.
It's like what else did they lose in the back end, really? It was Severson. Oh, and then Ryan Graves, who's in Pittsburgh now.
I mean, it's losing those two guys and then adding Luke Hughes, like that's good, but like it's kind of tough at the same time. Like their back end doesn't look as good as it did last year, but I mean it's still good though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dougie Hamilton, almost a point per game last year.
And how many fucking overtime winners did he get last year?
Oh my god, he was huge.
He was just like money. It was unreal. That one he had in,
and then they lose. Oh, that doesn't matter. I think it was like Jesper Bachquist, like Adam Boqvist's fucking brother.
Yeah.
No, he's not there anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They lost him.
Oh yeah,
That was it. That's it.
Yeah, that OT winner that he scored in New York at MSG during the playoffs was just fucking unreal. Just sniped far side. That was sick. Yeah, it's gonna be. This is a fun team. Like this is another just fun team. Like they're gonna be heavy offense, scoring lots of goals. It's gonna be. This is.
It's
they
the exact
signed.
opposite
They signed that
of the
Eric
Islanders.
Shalgren kid from Toronto.
They got Shalgren, did they?
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
He's in their minors. The goalie from Toronto.
Far past. I went to prospects. Yeah, weird.
Yep.
All right, last team in the division, the Carolina Hurricanes finished 52-21-9 for 113 points and were eliminated in the conference final against the Florida Panthers.
Didn't win a game.
0 for 12.
Swept.
What?
But they weren't swept.
They weren't swept. So remember, they weren't swept, that they didn't win, but they weren't swept.
They were not.
I mean, those games were close as fuck, though.
Yeah, they were.
Was it triple OT in first game?
Can this team get over the hump?
I don't know if it's more, can this team get over the hump, or can Andrei Svechnikov be healthy for the playoffs? It's every year.
Every year.
It's true.
He's so good, and then they lose him for the most important part of the goddamn year every single fucking year.
And it's crazy because like it's such a huge trickle down effect when Svechnikov's not in the lineup, because like, well, I mean, they added Michael Bunting this year, which should give them a lot of grit, a lot of offense. Like it should help them out. I mean, not a lot of offense, but like it should help them out. Like Seth Jarvis, kid's good. Kid's
real good.
Sebastian Aho is
Martin Necas, real good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sebastian Aho is one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. 100%. He's phenomenal. And then the way Marty Necas came out last year, like they have so much depth, but as soon as you lose Svechnikov, every year, it just like that top six just gets weaker. You know, like he's such hard.
Their third line, this is a great third line too. Jordan Martinook, Jordan Stahl, and Jesper Fast. They right now on Cap Friendly, they have Tara Vinen listed on the fourth line.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Jack Drury and then Stefan Dosen.
Yeah. Wasn't he kind of on like the block a little bit? Like,
Yeah,
just,
I heard that they
Tivu?
were kind of seeing what they can get for him because he's gonna get lost in the shuffle, I think, on this team.
I feel like he already has. Like
Yeah.
Jarvis, Natchez, like Svech, like those guys have all kind of taken over for what they thought Tabo would do. Like Tabo's a good player, but like he's definitely not lived up to what the Blackhawks thought he was going to be when they drafted him.
Right. Plus,
Yeah.
when you have like those guys outplaying them at cheaper deals, then it's kind of like, maybe we can, get something for this guy.
Right. Like Jarvis is 7 years younger.
But I mean, well, the other thing too is like, there's no need to trade him because like, why not have the depth if you're making those deep playoff runs?
He's at 5.4. Like that's not a bad deal either.
I just don't understand how this team is able to make these deals where like they have this stacked fucking forward lineup and then they still go out and get Dmitry Orlov.
They get 18 fucking defensemen. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
They have
on the
eight defensemen on their main roster that on one-way deals.
yeah. Dude, they have Orlov, Burns, Shea, Pesci, Slavin, D'Angelo, and then on their scratches they have Chatfield and Jones.
and then they have a PTO for Nathan Boileau.
It's just fucking insane. I don't understand it. It's just like let's hoard every defenseman because if we have him, the rest of the team just like can't have him.
Yeah, it's this team like Freddie Anderson and Nancy Ranta have it really nice on this team because like we saw with like Nedeljkovic, like when he was a Calder nominee because he had this stacked defense in front of him, and then fucking he gets traded to Detroit, and then they just end up dropping him because like obviously it's not the same. But having like solid goalies like Ranta and Anderson, like even oh shit, man, like I forgot they have Kachek, what's his name? Kachekov?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew I was gonna
he's
attempt to say
so
it.
good too. Fuck,
Yeah.
like this team's got it all. It's
It's
just can they stay healthy at the right time?
because it's not only Svechnikov, but it's fucking Freddie Anderson every year that gets hurt, and then
Yep.
Ronta injury prone, like, and then Kochechkov got hurt. Like, it's just it always happens every year. Like, like you know what you're getting from the Islanders, you know you're getting injuries from the Hurricanes. Like that's what
Yeah.
it is.
At the worst time. It's going to be playoff time, and then they're going to be like, well, there goes all of our good guys.
Right, and it's Anderson's a great goaltender, but like you were saying about Nedeljkovic, like this system, and it's kind of like the Islanders, but like Sorokin played way above what he needs. I mean, he played way better than the team did, but like this team is
Yeah.
so defensively because they have fucking 30, like more than half their roster is defensemen actually. They don't need the best goalies in the world because they played just so well all around. But like you're getting a really good goalie out of Freddie Anderson anyways. Like he's gonna be there and be stable back there. It's just can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
Fucking Ronto was 93 last year. That's fucking crazy.
And oh man,
So
yeah, this team's going to still be good.
Also,
all right.
Ronto older than Anderson.
What is
What's
it,
that?
Bronson?
Ronto's a year older than Anderson is. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I mean, this team's going to get in like another year. Like Svechnikov's only 23. Seth Jarvis and Martin Netches are only 24 and 21. Like they're like some of their biggest point getters, and like Sebastian Aho is only 26. Like when we're talking about Pittsburgh being like super old, like this team is like all 20s.
Except for your third line that's like 30s, but like just in their 30s and like they play well together.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
like the really good experienced vets that like are very like good at two-way play. Like fucking Jordan Stahl is probably still one of the best two-way centers in the game.
It's just a healthy mix of everything. Youth,
Yeah.
it's like two-way players, offensive player. Like it's I sleep on them every single year. I don't know
Yeah.
why. But then like I watch them play, I'm like, God damn, dude, this team is fucking good.
Yeah, whenever they played the Hawks, I was just like, oh shit. Like you could see the disparity in the skill level. And I was just like, oh my God, like this
Yeah.
team is just scary. And then they go on and fucking get swept in the fucking Eastern Conference final.
But they lost 4 in a row. They didn't get swept.
Yeah.
All right. What is your guys' top 3 teams in this division?
Fuck, dude, I was so prepared last week. I haven't even looked at this division until we started talking about it.
I mean, Carolina is definitely top still for me.
Are you going in
Yeah.
order? Are you going in order at all, or just no order?
I no order.
Okay.
But Carolina,
Um, but Carolina's first. um, I don't know, man. Like, it's hard for me to argue against Pittsburgh being worse than they were last year when they were only a point out and they went and like got more.
Or are they
Um,
top 3 better?
it's possible. I think it's very possible. And then I think New Jersey, right? Like, I don't know. It's one of the either the Rangers or the Islanders. They'll be in there too. It's just with the Islanders, it's Sorokin. Can he just continue to be like the biggest fucking monster in the back end? And then for the Rangers is just like, can they still continue to count on Zibanejad, Panarin, and Kreider just to fucking score every single time on the power play?
I think Kreider put up. Did he? He got 50, right?
That wasn't this year. I think that was last year.
That was the
No,
year before.
but he got 50 though, right? Like, can he put that up again? Like,
Yeah.
um,
I mean,
So
that
who
was
you
last
going?
year.
So who you going 3? Because you said like 5 teams.
you went down the whole.
I don't know. New Jersey,
I
but their defense isn't that. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
like the standings how they ended last year. Honestly, I think it's gonna be basically the same Carolina, New Jersey Rangers.
yeah,
Do that
That's
too,
what I'm
Tanner.
saying. I can see that too.
I
And
just Pittsburgh's gonna come out flying and like win the fucking division, but like until I see it, like I don't have faith in them.
I'm
Yeah,
flipping the Devils and Carolina.
I think from the whole division though, like Columbus definitely takes a step forward as long as obviously they stay healthy because that was a huge issue last year. Philly takes a big step back. I think Washington is just gonna hang out right where they're at.
All
But
right. So
like,
who your bottom 3 then?
uh, it's gonna be Philly, Washington, and Columbus. But like, Columbus is gonna be sixth, I think. It'll go like from like worst to like not the worst is going to be Philly, Washington, Columbus. I think.
Only.
Gotta say, I go Philly, Columbus, Washington.
Yeah, I can see that too.
I just I really want Columbus to be better, but it's such a tough division, and I just
Yeah,
can't. I can see them improving, but like them improving 21 points to be exactly where Washington's at, that's tough. Like that's a lot of points to catch up. And I think, like I said, I think Washington's gonna be right about where they're at last year.
Again, see the reason I think though they can do it though, it's like it's if they're healthy, I think that kind of puts them at where they were kind of projected to be last year. You know, like
It's just,
that's
man,
yeah. I mean, I
it's
have the same 3 teams. I'm torn like you guys on Capitals and Columbus on who goes where, but
I kind of I
see what happens with Gaudreau and Werenski, Line A all on the same power play is going to be pretty disgusting. And Fantilli, man, like if he
man,
comes
I'm
out and he's just
excited.
firing right away, like Jesus.
I could
I
actually
guess
see the Islanders drop down to where Washington is. Honestly, like I could definitely see it. Like I don't know, there's something about the Islanders where I'm like, I think this might be a year where they just kind of fall off a bit.
The Islanders are the one team that I could be like, yeah, they could probably come in like seventh or first.
Yeah,
best goalie in the league though. I have a hard time thinking that they might fall off, but I have a hard time thinking they fall that much.
it's so hard. It's like it's the same thing with Columbus though. It's like I know that they're gonna be better, but like, are
Yeah.
they that much better? Like I don't know, man. Like I don't know. And like same with Washington. Like, are they gonna fall off? Are they gonna be exactly what they were? Like it's just this is such a tough division. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, a
Well,
lot of good tough games.
Yeah.
that's the Metro. That's the Western or Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
We will
Check
wrap
out
this.
showed up.
Everybody show your jerseys.
There you go.
All right. So episode 239, Metro Division preview.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us on social media at WCB Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast at. DraftKings promo code THPN. What's up?
Where do you guys find your apples at, man?
Where you find your apples at?
We're at the grocery store.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, love you, boys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.